What's up, everybody? Welcome to 2024 here with Triggered Wrestling, the Brocast. That's me, Brian, Adrian. We're going to discuss things that we missed recently after this holiday vacation. We're going to be talking AEW World's End. We're talking Monday Night Raw. We're talking the most important news, so stick around, stay tuned on this episode of Triggered Wrestling.
Triggered Wrestling is so awesome all the way around. That gets me triggered.
Ooh, okay, well, let's go with the bad trigger right now.
See, I'm a fan of all of it.
Will force you to watch Trigger Wrestling.
Damn, bro, it's been some time. How was your 2024? How was your holidays, Brian?
Holidays were all good. You know, I got to open some presents, spend some time with my kids, my loved ones, and the wifey. It was all good. Got to see AEW. Got to see, the best of SmackDown, whatever they had on. I didn't watch Monday Night Raw like most people did, which is why AEW Dynamite beat down Monday Night Raw on New Year's. Sorry, not New Year's. It was Christmas, right?
Yes.
Yeah, bro. So that always gets the nerds online going crazy. But yeah, man. So I guess let's start off with what ended 2023, which was AEW World's End. But Adrian, before I get into that, how was your holiday season?
It was great, man. I mean, spending time with family, it's always great, especially during the holidays. Nobody tried to expose anybody with family topics or anything like stuff. But yeah, it was great time. I saw kids opening presents, my nephews, my nieces, not so much me. As us, we usually get underwear, boxers, socks, a t-shirt.
I wish I got underwear, bro, but I got to give a shout out to this guy. His name's Christian, hanging out at Barrio Toys. We did a Secret Santa. He gave me, I would rather have socks or underwear because I could have put that to use, but instead he gives me an AEW action figure of none other than Riho.
Ooh, damn, that's going to be worth a cool $10 in 5 years from now.
Bro. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed our Secret Santa and all joking around, but he gave me also a King shirt, but nonetheless, AEW Riho action figure is being put to use by my kids currently, so thank you so much.
Hell yeah. You know what you gotta do now? You gotta go to the barrio, get some AEW or WWE championship belts. Have your daughter wrestle for them.
I'm gonna wrestle my daughter for them.
I mean, not you physically, like your daughter with her.
No, I'm gonna take them from her, bro. I'm gonna be like, I'm the champion here. This is my house. This is Swerve's house. No, but honestly, seriously, now we're talking about Barrio Toys. We got some big names coming to the Barrio here in the month of January. They're kicking off the year with the meet and greets pretty strongly here. So first up, January 15th. Mark that date down on the calendar because you're going to want to go see none other than Matt Riddle himself. He'll be there at the Barrio with us January 15th from 2 to 4 p.m. at Barrio Toys. And who else is going to be here, Adrian?
None other than the one and only AJ Francis, bro, formerly known as Top Dollar.
Yeah, he'll be there January 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. Strangely enough, that's also the day of the Royal Rumble, so he is not going to be in the Royal Rumble match as a surprise entrance, Adrian.
Damn. All jokes aside, Top Dollar does have a fan base. I know he recently appeared at a GCW event. Crowd, they liked what they saw. I mean, it's quite a transition from WWE PG style to GCW style. But, as a wrestling fan, best believe your boy is going to be tuning in and see where his career goes.
Honestly, we didn't see too much of him in WWE. We saw him mostly in NXT. He was dope in NXT. He didn't get really much of a chance in WWE. I'm sure he's great on the mic. We saw him on that A&E show of WWE's Hidden Treasures or Most Found Treasures, where they looked back at Undertaker's old SummerSlam outfit together. They did a whole bunch of things. So he was living the dream of most wrestling fans back in the day. But actually, even now, recently, he was a WWE wrestler on top of all that. So it's going to be good to see him that day.
Not a lot of people can say they were in the WWE roster.
Exactly. On TV, on SmackDown, with one of the greats, which is Swerve Strickland, heading that faction as well. But anyways, let's go into AEW's World's End. We're just going to talk briefly about the results here. We didn't have a preview for this because it was the holidays and all of that, but we're just going to talk about some key things here. I'm happy Wheeler Yuta lost to Hook. Adrian, anything you want to talk about this pre-show before we get into the main card?
Only thing, it's is Hook like the glorified pre-show guy, like the to-go guy, or what? Because that's all he's doing. Like, I mean, he's barely on TV, and then when I do see him in a pay-per-view, he's on the pre-show.
Are you flip-flopping here on me, bro? Because I told you months ago that this guy, he's not getting ring time. He's not on TV. What is he doing there? He's going to be forgotten. And at this point now, he shows up, once every month?
Yeah.
On Rampage, on a pay-per-view pre-show. He's long gone, forgotten. R.I.P. the character of Hook. They can still bring him back around. He just needs to show up more.
Yeah.
And that triggers me.
Or put him in Ring of Honor and put him as a top player, as a competitive player. Give him the same gimmick his dad had back in ECW. Put Hook as a face of Ring of Honor, and maybe you can reintroduce that character back to the AEW and Ring of Honor audience. I would like that, but like you said, he's not really showing up on TV. And before he kind of was, but not really. I don't know. Hook in Ring of Honor to me would be the better option for him.
See, I would agree with you, except that the fact that most of the Ring of Honor world titles are actually on AEW. The world title was with Eddie Kingston. For a while, the TV title was on Samoa Joe. I mean, the Ring of Honor tag team titles are on AEW. I don't think I've ever seen them for at least the last 5 months be defended on Ring of Honor television. At least certainly, I mean, MJF, won the titles off of the Guns, right? No. Who did they win the title off of?
Damn, I don't remember. It was MJF and Adam Cole. It wasn't the Kingdom.
No, who did they win it off of?
Oh, was it Kyle Fletcher and All In?
Yeah.
It was a pre-show too.
Yeah, that's who it was.
See, that's what I'm saying.
And even those guys, they were on AEW TV all the time. I didn't see them on Ring of Honor really much.
Yeah, it was a good way to introduce them in AEW, but to me, just keep them separately. Yeah, have a transition here and there to and from shows, but to me, if you put him in Ring of Honor, leave him in Ring of Honor, and occasionally bring him in to AEW to like job or something instead of bringing in local talent or some randoms,
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. Also in the meaningful pre-show match, Killswitch winning the 20-man battle royale for the AEW TNT Championship, which is then used to further on another match that we'll get into here shortly. We had the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli, Bryan Danielson, Mark Briscoe, and Daniel Garcia. They beat Jay Lethal, Brody King, Jay White, and Rush. I would say it's a pointless match. I mean, now, is there anything you want to say about that match, Adrian?
Yeah, it was pretty pointless in a way. I would have liked it if maybe it had announced something similar to like a Survivor Series type of match. The second place opponents will be facing off against each other in a 4-man tag team match. The winner of those 4 maybe get a mid-card title opportunity or something. But it didn't lead nowhere, and it basically didn't lead anywhere.
Since we're recording this on January 4th, okay, so some behind-the-scene action here. We just saw AEW Dynamite yesterday. So in retrospect, hindsight being 2020, right? I like that idea, Adrian, that the winning team would have a 4-way dance at Dynamite and determine who would be the number 1 contender. That makes sense considering these 8 guys went through a 2-month tournament to win this title, right?
Yep.
It makes sense. And we're going to jump around here a little bit. So fast forward to AEW Dynamite. Then they have these 4 random guys that had nothing to do with this tournament to then challenge to be the number 1 contendership.
Yep.
So at this point, you didn't have to participate in the tournament. Just wait till the tournament's over, win a 4-way dance, and then you're there to win the title. Yep. And it's not even nobody that wasn't even in this tournament. But that triggers me, Adrian.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you're triggered.
Yeah, that absolutely makes 0 sense. The only takeaway I would get from that match is, Trent won. He won another quote-unquote big match, or multi-man big match. I know the last time he won a big match like that was against Moxley and Penta in a triple threat for the All-Atlantic Championship. They're doing it again, but this time it's for Eddie Kingston's Triple Crown Championship. It made absolutely no sense. Like I said, if you had those 4 individuals, in a fatal 4-way match on Dynamite or Rampage or Collision, wherever you want to have that match, winner gets a shot at the title. Maybe not the Triple Crown title, maybe something like Orange Cassidy's title or something. Give him another title chance or something. Build something out of this tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Except all these guys are just thrown to the side. We find out that Rush was apparently fighting in the tournament with a torn hamstring, so he's out for a couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this tournament was just all over the place.
Speaking about Rush is being out for a couple months, Andrade actually left AEW, and he left in good terms and without 90-day compete clause. Is that what they're called in WWE?
Yeah, but that's when they're released. So in this situation, he wasn't released. His contract literally just ended. So the rumor is that he's going to be showing up on SmackDown depending when this comes out, we'll see, right? But Zelina Vega has a secret she wants to tell everybody, and I'm assuming she's going to tell people on SmackDown.
Yeah. I like this about Tony Khan. I always said it. I kind of was upset when WWE would release wrestlers out of the contracts and they couldn't compete anywhere. Kind of like Ryan Nemeth or Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, which we talk about later today or later on the show. Tony Khan could have added time to Andrade's contract when he was injured, but he didn't. Other companies would have added plenty of time. But yeah, he left on good terms, him, Tony Khan, and some of the AEW locker room stars. Let's just see what Andrade has in store for us.
Yeah, but Miro defeats Andrade in his going away match. We get the timeless Tony Storm versus Rio. And once again, I didn't think Rio had a realistic chance at winning this match. She's gone for months, shows up randomly, challenges the title, loses. She's probably going to be gone for a couple more months in Japan. Who knows? But anything you want to say about that women's match, Adrian?
Nah.
Okay, so next up, we get a match of Swerve Strickland, which was supposed to be Keith Lee. Keith Lee announces that he is unable to compete. He's been having health issues for, I want to say, the last couple years. He is replaced by Dustin Rhodes. This match was 9 minutes and 30 seconds long. And I thought that was too long, considering that they're trying to build up Swerve. I did like that Dustin Rhodes fought back, but you don't need him to fight back as much as he did, in my opinion. But he's a legend, probably a WWE Hall of Famer for sure.
Mind of Famer at that.
What did you think, Adrian?
Yes, I thought the same thing too. It took too long, in my opinion, especially when Swerve Strickland jump-started the match. Actually, the match didn't even start. He just jump-started him. Dustin Rhodes was already beat up. I would have liked if the match was like at least max 5 minutes, 6 minutes. A few offensive moves from Dustin Rhodes, but, Swerve Strickland still has that momentum, and he did jumpstart the match, so, I liked it, but it didn't need to go that long.
Yeah, it didn't. But moving on. Then we get the Sting, Darby Allin, and the Sex Gods defeating Ricky Starks, Big Bill, and Don Callis family, which is Konosuke Takeshita and Powerhouse Hobbs in this match.
Wait, hold on. Let me go first. The only thing that triggered me in this match was that Ricky Starks took the pin. That was it. It could have been anybody else. Could have been Big Bill. Could have been Hobbs. It's a multi-man tag team match. Anything could have happened, but why Ricky? I think Ricky getting pinned was bad booking, and I did not like it at all.
I don't even remember who pinned him.
Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara. The only thing, dude, I have no idea where this is really going. To me, it's a pointless 8-man tag.
Facts. I think it was just an excuse to put Sting and Jericho together, but why? This is Sting's last run. He's gonna retire in less than 3 months. If you want people to tune in to buy the pay-per-view and go to the shows and spend money, make it worth people's time. Remind people, hey, this is the last time Sting's gonna be in this town as a wrestler, as a performer. Come watch the show. Pretty much, in other words, we're doing a lot for Sting. He's retiring. Please watch our show. Please buy our tickets.
Yeah, it kind of seems like that. And they kind of seem like they just put together these guys just for the sake of not having 14 match card. You know what I mean? And that's not even including I guess that's including the pre-show. This is actually a short card, I'm going to say, dude, honestly. It didn't make sense for them to even be together, but that's another thing. That's another conversation for later. We get Julia Hart defeating Abaddon in the House Rules AEW TBS Championship. Is there anything you want to say about this match, Adrian?
I like the match. I like where Julia Hart's character is going. Like I said about Julia Hart in the past, we saw her character develop. We saw her debut. And now we're seeing something good in the women's division. And I like it. Yeah, I know you've been saying Abaddon's going to leave in a few months, in a few weeks. Hopefully that's not the case, because if you've been paying attention, the AEW women's locker room is getting a lot of attention across all 3 shows. Yes, they still only have maybe like 1 match, but more women are getting involved during backstage segments, promos, or video packages. And I like that, just put more eyes on the women's division.
I did like that on this episode of Dynamite. We get to see a little bit more of the women's. They just need to work on having more matches, more ring time. Something to improve the wrestling skills. I know we had the debuting Deonna Purrazzo. She's joining the AEW women's division. She's all elite. It's been announced. Contract signed. We'll see where that goes. She's got to work her way up the card, but it's a thin card currently, considering that a lot of these women, they show up for a couple weeks and then they're gone for a couple weeks and they show up again. I feel like the recent consistent players, Sky Blue, Julia Hart, and that's it, dude. And Tony Storm. Anybody else out of those 3 women hasn't showed up recently consistently. I would say.
Yeah, and it looks like they're actually having these women have a little more story besides, like you said, the top players. You know, before in AEW, a woman would debut, and then like 3 weeks later, they would have a world title match or a TBS title match or something like that. You know, now with Deonna Purrazzo and Mariah May, they might start a little feud, which is great. Now for a title, they're just developing character, creating a story. I'm all here for it.
Yep. Well, so we'll see what goes on with this women's division, because is there a clear challenger for the women's TBS championship currently? Unless it's Sky Blue turning her back on Julia Hart?
No, not currently. I mean, the feud just ended with Abaddon, so I'm pretty sure they're making something up right now. Or brewing something, I should say.
Brewing something. So next we get the hot potato title, the AEW TNT Championship, which is won by Adam Copeland and then won by Christian Cage. So, Adrian, I'm going to let you talk about this match first.
Yeah, so during the pre-show, they had a 20-man battle royale, and the winner of that battle royale gets a contract for the TNT Championship at any time, any moment, anytime they want it. Similar to Money in the Bank. And not a lot of people watch AEW, and not a lot of people watch the pre-show or 0 Hour, whatever you like to call it. So after the match, after the amazing banger of a match Adam Copeland and Christian Cage had, you see Killshot, aka Luchasaurus, approach the ring, quote unquote, try to cash in his contract, but then Christian Cage was like, no, you need to give that to me. Killshot is kind of like on the fence about it. Then Christian Cage leans into Killshot's ears and says something, whispers something, and then just Killshot just hands over the contract like nothing. So now there's a lot of storytelling right there. Like, what does Christian Cage have against Killshot now? The match, absolute banger. It was a street fight. There was a lot of callbacks from Adam Copeland's career back in WWE. The flaming table with Mick Foley in the Wrestlemania match. The cash-in. Edge did that in WWE New Year's resolution. I forgot what year that was. But yeah, the match was great. Delivered. Plenty of storytelling. What did you think about it? And the cash-in.
I think the match was good. It was probably the best match in this show. I liked it. Edge and Christian, great wrestlers, great storytellers in the ring. You don't have to have, crazy matches to make a good match. It was good. The storyline is great. The only issue I had with this, small minute detail I had with this, is his name's Killswitch.
Killswitch or Killshot? Fuck. Killshot is Sir Strickland's character from Lucha Underground. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so Killswitch. The only issue I have with this is, like, he's clearly eventually going to turn on Christian Cage at some point. And I feel like, and this is just speculation, right, is that it's going to eventually happen with Jingle Boy's return. And that just scares me. But I want to see Killswitch or Luchasaurus. I want to see him unmasked and actually be a person instead of a dinosaur. Essentially is what I'm kind of going with. And he needs a gimmick change, and I hope this leads to it. That's the only issue. Is like, what does he possibly have on Luchasaurus? He's like, hey, you're not a real dinosaur.
What if he has a face only a mother can love, bro?
I mean, we've all seen his face before. It ain't that hard to Google, but yeah, man. I mean, I feel like they're going to end up ruining it with what that secret is that he's got on him.
But Jungle Boy, eh? Damn, I hear that man's a killer backstage.
that man's got some hands, bro.
Stood up to a UFC fighter, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Take some cajones for that. So moving on here, we get into the thing that really irks me is this Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley match. I've mentioned it quite a few times. I'm not an Eddie Kingston type of wrestler fan. I don't like his style. Jon Moxley, I mean, he has an interesting style. I liked it a little bit more in WWE because he's had that like crazy maniacal character. In this one, it just seems like he's more just a brawler. I just want to fight. They put on, and everyone I see online, they say, oh, this was a good match. This was a good match. So it's either you really like this match or hate it. They put on what people call a heavy hitting match, strong style match. I get that. I watch Japanese strong style. You watch that banger of a match that Swerve Strickland and Darby Allin had on Dynamite. I would call that a strong style match. They were going at it. It was crazy. You watch Konosuke Takeshita, that man. Oh, that's who it was. Sorry, not Darby Allin. It was Darby Allin and Konosuke Takeshita. That is a strong style match. This match was two guys pretending to have a strong style match by slapping each other back and forth. And I'm not even saying they're chops. They weren't even chops. We saw some chops, but it's like literally just tapping of the face. Like a lot of it was, I call them indie spots. I'm going to call them the veteran Jack Vaughn on Instagram, where he makes fun of the indie wrestlers. That's what this was. You do a chop, You wait 10 seconds, the other guy chops you back. You wait 15 seconds, you chop the other guy back. You wait 30 seconds to regain, and then he chops him back. Then they start doing forearms. They 10 seconds, forearms. And then all of a sudden they're throwing kicks. And all of a sudden they go back to chops. Then they go to slaps, like little bitch slaps to the face. And then all of a sudden he does this backhand little slap to Jon Moxley's cheek. And he's out, 3 count, match is over. And I'm like, what the fuck? I literally just saw Jon Moxley get lynched on TV in a Texas death match. And he was unconscious because he went through tables, he went through ladders, barbed wire. But no, it takes this little backhand, little slap, and he's out cold. And I'm triggered, bro. This match was garbage. This match was a disgrace to wrestling. To me as a fan, I felt insulted watching this by seeing like I'm supposed to believe that little slap did him in. And it's frustrating to me because I love wrestling. AEW isn't my cup of tea, but there's things I can point out that I really like. Swerve Strickland, Konosuke Takeshita, Darby Allin. Like, there's things I can point out that I like, but this match, Jesus Christ, it was terrible. And you cannot convince me that this was a good match regardless of anything. I want to see somebody that actually liked this match to try to explain to me why it was good. It was bad acting. It was bad wrestling. I mean, be stiff with these things at least, is what I would say. And I'm sure if you talk to Eddie Kingston or Jon Moxley, be like, well, you get in the ring or whatnot. But I mean, like, I can be, I don't mean to sound disrespectful. Like, I am untrained and I could probably do the same match. And you know what? I'm not going to say that. Because I'm not going to sit there and take chops like that. But I could have come up with a better ending to this match. I feel like I could have, honestly, really have.
Yeah, man, I completely agree with you. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it was the match of the card. It was okay. The ending was fucking horrible. I was very disappointed at the ending. I mean, you had Orange Cassidy go up against Jon Moxley for the All-International Championship. Orange Cassidy, delivered how many orange punches? Like 4 or 5? And then a beach break, and that's what did it for Moxley? But then one little slap is what took Moxley out versus Kingston? I understand the Continental Classic tournament was, I would say, a hard-hitting tournament. But just like the G1 Climax, remind the fans, this Continental Classic is a tough tournament. The schedule, back-to-back schedule, like Andrade, when he lost to Kingston on Collision, they should have announced that, the day before, he was in CMLL having a match with 0 time to rest. Eddie Kingston defeated Andrade El Idolo. Remind the fans that it's a hard-hitting tournament, that anything can happen. But no, I mean, New Japan does a very well job on reminding the fans how tough the G1 Climax is. And I did not get that here from this tournament, especially the ending. If Jon Moxley was getting a second win and a third and a fourth versus Orange Cassidy for the All-International Championship, why didn't that come into play in this tournament? That's all I gotta say. The ending was meh. To me, they ruined the ending. But, I'm not gonna argue with you. That's your opinion. It's a great opinion of that match. And you spot on, bruv.
See, and the main issue I have with this is just how terrible that finisher is from Eddie Kingston. Like, we have other people that have striking finishes. We have Aleister Black with this kick that looks devastating. Andrade had the spinning back fist. Jericho has a spinning back fist. Bro, even Orange Cassidy's orange punch looks completely more devastating than that back slap, dude. They gotta figure something out. Maybe Eddie Kingston needs a new finisher. You guys let us know what you guys think in the comments. Something's gotta change, I think, honestly. And is that just because that's Eddie Kingston's style, that he considers himself a striker? I don't know. But I think he needs a new finisher or lay some more oomph into the backhand, I would say. I get that they have to be safe and blah, 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 blah. But I mean, other wrestlers, they got spinning back elbows. That's not a backhand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More dangerous, I would say. Moving on, Samoa Joe versus MJF. Adrian, I went on a long rant. I'm going to let you go with this one.
The match was great, obviously. MJF, a great workhorse, a great champion, a great seller. We were reminded a lot from the announcers that MJF has not been at 100%. His shoulder, he got attacked by the Devil's Goons a while back. He got beat up on Dynamite days before the show. They did very well reminding us that MJF is not at 100%. Obviously, we knew his contract was coming up on January 1st, 2024. We reminded the fans and our listeners about MJF's contract. I'm not surprised Samoa Joe won. I think he's a great champion. He's going to take the AEW World Championship to new heights. Because I know a lot of people said, the champion doesn't mean anything since Hangman Adam Page won it or when CM Punk won it. Hopefully, Samoa Joe can bring that prestigious back to the title. I'm excited for his run, but also the devil, man. It was revealed that it was Adam Cole. and his goons were the Kingdom, Roderick Strong, and Wardlow, one of your favorites. How do you feel about the reveal and the match?
So I'm going to separate the reveal and the match a little bit. The match, good. Ending, it was good. It seemed kind of confusing at the end just because the way the match ended was, the 3 hands falling down. AEW typically doesn't do that. Sometimes they look at the guy, the hand drops once, and the ref calls it because he's out cold. So a little bit of inconsistency there. It added some confusion. Like, I didn't know the match was over. I was kind of like, what happened? But then I realized Samoa Joe won. Then he just kind of whisks away, and immediately the whole devil segment comes in. I wish they would have taken a little bit more time with Samoa Joe in the ring, celebrate his title win. He just won the title. Celebrate it. Do something. No, he just kind of gets out because they're trying to scramble the devil segment in. Yeah, I mean, it was predictable. We all pretty much predicted who the devil was going to be. Adam Cole, the Kingdom. They're going by the name of Undisputed Kingdom. Copy and paste booking here. Yeah, I mean, it was fairly expected of what the storyline was going to be. Am I disappointed? No. Am I looking forward to it? I tuned into Dynamite expecting furthering in the story, and then they killed the story from day one. It's, at least for me.
Which was?
But so I guess we'll start kind of just flow into Dynamite. Adam Cole says that we're gonna be dominating AEW. The Kingdom, they have the Ring of Honor tag titles, which is once again Ring of Honor, not AEW tag titles, but apparently they're gonna be defended on AEW television. Then he says Roderick Strong is gonna be going after
All International title, which is held currently by Orange Cassidy. Adam Cole says Wardlow's going to go after the AEW World Championship, and then he's going to give it to me once I'm fully healed. And then Wardlow just looks at him like, sure, that's what I'm going to do. Which is, I'm like, well, it looks like at some point Wardlow's is gonna win the world title, and we're gonna have the same MJF storyline again, which is 2 friends, same faction, having to duke it out for the title, apparently. Yep. How do you know Wardlow's not using them to get to the title and keeping it for himself?
Exactly how sure I think this is going to happen. So at some point for that story to even have any nuance and completion, he's got to win the title, right? Otherwise, it doesn't matter.
Yep. But if you notice too, Adam Cole said that once Wardlow climbs up the ranks and is ready to challenge, he will challenge. And when he wins it, he'll give it to me. It's not like, oh, I demand a title shot, and then the following week, we get a world title championship match, I'm glad that they're brewing some feuds, some stories. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could go that way. I could also see it go a different way. I don't know, man.
Honestly, I think Wardlow was not supposed to be part of this group until Adam Cole got injured.
Probably, yep.
Because otherwise, it doesn't make sense that he's in there, because he was already kind of doing his own thing, and then they kind of feels rushed because now
maybe Kyle O'Reilly wasn't clear to wrestle. He's still under an AEW contract.
I forgot that he existed. And it's been like a year and a half. How long has it been gone now? Something like that. Yeah. Speaking of people that's been gone for a while, who else made the return was Isaiah Cassidy with his tag team partner, the Private Party, Mark Quinn.
Yep.
That left me kind of confused also, because they interrupted a singles match for the All International title, talking about they're going to take the tag team scene by storm. But I'm like, well, why interrupt the end of a singles match and they're all trios in the ring? I was so confused by that.
Do you notice too, they play the wrong music at first?
Yes, because they had the Orange Cassidy theme song going on. They shake hands, and all of a sudden they play
Party.
No, they started playing the Top Flight song, and then they're all like, "Oh, what the hell?"
Oh, yeah,
and then they just looked at each other. Then the ref told them to shake hands again. Then the song ends, and then they start playing the Private Party song.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
They put the entire locker room on notice, including the Hardys. I mean, this is something we were talking about. Jeff and Matt Hardy, they're not the stars they were back in the day. I'm a fan of them, but I mean, they're not really doing anything. I mean, what can they do at this age? They can't do the same moves that were doing back in the day. And it doesn't look like they're going to change their styles. So I think that's what's holding them back a bit. But I mean, if something comes out with Private Party and the Hardys, maybe a story, maybe a retirement match, some managers or something, I'm all here for it. I mean, I'm a fan of the Hardys.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Hardys too, man. They need to either step away, get healthy a little bit, make another return. Yeah, but we'll see what happens there. Unless Top Flight goes back to being a tag team, and unless the Acclaimed go back to just being a tag team instead of a trios, but we'll see where this whole thing goes, because it doesn't really make too much sense for me. So since we're just talking about AEW Dynamite, let's just run down some key topics there that we kind of we talked about some things. Dante Martin, Orange Cassidy, of course. Orange Cassidy wins. We talked about the aftermath. Mariah May made her debut.
Yes.
And she looks good. She looks really good. So
yes, she does.
Good. It's good to have another good women's wrestler on AEW. So she made her debut. She was a big star in Stardom, right?
Yes, and if you notice too, she is great on the mic, and that's something the AEW women don't have. Great mic skills, you know? And Mariah May came with wrestling and mic skills into the locker room. That alone right there, I wouldn't say she's going to get catapulted to the top, but she's going to go up there.
She reminds me, and this is a totally, I shouldn't even make this comparison. She reminds me of Tiffany Stratton. She's got, the looks. The looks. She's got the charisma. Hopefully she puts it together and AEW creates a good package for her because she can be the top here of AEW or at least be a main event player here pretty soon. I just want to talk about that Darby Allin Konosuke Takeshita match. Man, that match was really, really, really good.
Yes, it was. And did you see people in the comments section that were already like, it's going to be trash, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes you can predict where something's not going to deliver. And this one, it had his 50 and 50. I mean, I knew the match was going to deliver to my standards, to mine only. I know other people like other stuff in wrestling, but to me, I knew it was going to deliver. Boy, did it deliver. Talk about it, bro.
It was a good match. I always got to point out the things that I don't like. That's the thing about Triggered Wrestling, right? The only issue I had with this was just the ending. I just, they got to figure out, and this is just a AEW thing. Everybody kicks out of everything, and then when the ending of the match gets there, it's either like the wackest move or just a roll up. And I mean, he wins with the running knee, but he kicked out of so many running knees already that like they had that spot where Darby Allin did the tope suicida right into Takeshita's knee, and he was out cold. He rolls him in, but that doesn't end it. I guess you could say because it happened outside, but he went for a couple of other knees too, but this is the one that ends it. But it was a great match. I'm not going to let the ending dictate that I didn't like the match. Yeah. It was a great match.
Did you see that the roll of suplexes he was doing on the ramp, and then the final one he just threw him off? Or he just fucking... Mm-hmm. And then that, I would say the German suplex from the top rope. Damn, that boy.
Exactly. Those were all great spots. I'm going to go ahead and say that at some point, we're going to see Chad Gable in WWE do that ring spot where he does like the rolling German suplexes because he does the same thing, but he does the pin at the end. So we're assuming at some point we're going to see him copy and paste that into a future match.
In order for him to do that, he would have to go against somebody like somebody smaller.
Well, he could do the German suplex. He probably won't do the throw at the end.
Yeah. And then right before we leave, we start talking about WWE Day 1, Swerve Strickland versus Danny Garcia. Swerve Strickland was not going to lose this match, but a lot of people are saying that Swerve Strickland's momentum is done and finished, and that's due to the fact that after the Continental Classic match, he was scheduled to have a match against Keith Lee. Then he got injured. Dustin Rhodes ended up filling in for him, a former tag team champion of Keith Lee. And then on his first match on Dynamite, he went up against Daniel Garcia. Some could call him a jobber, like myself, because he hasn't won a lot. And let's face it, he is a jobber. So what do you think about that, Brian? Is Swerve Strickland's momentum gone, or is it just started?
I would say his momentum has plateaued because he's got to be world champ. He's got to be challenging for the world title. And it looks like they just keep putting him in these feuds that kind of hold him steady. Like this match with Keith Lee, unnecessary. He didn't need to be at this show. They're trying to finish the story that's supposed to be finished a year ago. Is this Cody Rhodes copy and paste? I don't know. They're trying to have him finish the story with Keith Lee, and then they have him in this match in the main event with Daniel Garcia, who's a guy that just lost every match of a tournament. Grant, he did get the pin at the pay-per-view, but it was an 8-man tag. You could say that's a fluke.
Speaking of that, bro, I got roasted on Facebook by our fans, our followers, man. I posted, Daniel Garcia just won this match on this 8-man tag team match. He's gonna have a great 2024. Then this happened, and boy, the followers came and cooked my ass, bro.
They came with
receipts. I was like, damn. Honestly, I was putting the Homer Simpson gif on all of them. Like, bro, I'm fucking getting cooked. I can't keep up.
Yeah, man. Honestly, Daniel Garcia didn't belong in the main event, man.
Yeah, he's like You know how like New Japan is a junior weight division, similar to WWE's cruiserweight division? I think he just needs to stick there for a while and not challenge any top players for a moment and build his momentum up with the lower mid card division, you know?
They gotta have him do something because he's currently still out there with Daddy Magic. Yeah, man. They gotta change something with Daniel Garcia. But back to Swerve. Now, after he beats Daniel Garcia, Hangman Adam Page comes out and wants to challenge Swerve Strickland again. Like, you guys just went through a death match and it was recent. It was really recent. 2 months ago. You're starting that feud over again. Where do you go from there, dude? Where do you go from having a death match, and not just any death match, a great death match, which seemed like the end for at least a year of them, and now they're just rushing because they have nothing for Hangman, nothing for Swerve currently. What are they going to have? An Iron Man match? I mean, I don't know how you continue on after that death match.
That would be dope. Or a triple, or what are those 2 out of 3 falls? What if they have one of those eye versus eye match, you know? Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio? I mean, they're drinking each other's blood.
Hangman already didn't have an eye for a while. Remember, he was wrestling with the eye patch for a while.
But did his eyeball come out, though, like Rey Mysterio's eyeball?
No, it did not.
I'm just spitballing here because the AEW crowd, man, they are hungry. They want everything. And I just, not trying to joke on WWE, but the fans, sometimes it's great when you have these no DQ matches, but sometimes they're doing it over the top, you know?
Yeah, they're very frequent when they happen, and that was such a great match that now it's like, you're gonna do it again? Like, wait a little bit, you know what I mean? And AEW is really good with wrestling, and that's why they have fans, and that's why there's tribalism. The same fans that watch WWE aren't the same fans that watch AEW, or vice versa. You like one more than the other. I like WWE more. I can't blind myself to the fact that these stories don't make sense, regardless of how good the action is. It's like you're watching a novela or a Netflix show, and the story doesn't make sense. Eventually, you're going to stop watching or complain and just hate watch it. And that's what people are doing. I feel like that a lot of people just hate watch it.
Yeah.
It's just story-wise, it doesn't make sense, but the wrestling's really good.
Yeah, especially like when, like you said, hate watching, like you watch with the intention of like just hating everything. And yeah, you're right. The storytelling does not, sometimes they don't add up. Doesn't make sense, or they just end the story. But you know what story is really having people tune in and having people watch is the Becky Lynch and Nia Jax. How many years? 4 years in the making?
Something like that. Ever since she broke her nose and the man. Yeah, I guess that was 4 years ago. Damn. Yeah, I want to say that's 4 years ago.
Finally getting that match. That's how you build a feud, in my opinion. I mean, technically, yes, a lot of things happened in between. Nia Jax got fired. But see, that's a great, you know, they reminded us of what happened 4 years ago, and then they're bringing it up again. I like it. I mean, the match was great. What about you?
That match was really good. First of all, I want to say that they fired or let go Kevin Dunn, the guy that's been in charge of WWE production for the last 30 years, right?
Yeah.
So they let him go, and WWE Raw just seemed completely different. Video packages, production quality, they brought picture-in-picture, and it wasn't just like a little small, tiny, minuscule little picture at the bottom, how they used to do when they do it. It looked, you could actually watch the match, and the commercial at the same time. They were like pretty much the same size. It looked good. This match was great. I was shocked about how into this match I really was. Becky Lynch, I thought was gonna win. She loses here to Nia Jax. Man, the women's division in WWE is heating up. There's quite a few different women in there that can challenge, at least in Raw currently.
Yup, and again, this is what I told you in previous episodes. Becky Lynch, she's on top. She's on top of the food chain. No matter who's holding the SmackDown or Raw championships, Becky Lynch can do no wrong in my book. You know, a lot, like I said, like I was talking about Konosuke Takeshita and Darby Allin. People were not giving that match a chance before they even saw it. People were not giving Becky Lynch and Nia Jax a chance before they even saw it. And look what happened. Both matches shut people's mouths up. Nia Jax, I was impressed. Again, it could all be because of Becky Lynch and she just put the woman over so fucking good. But to be honest, I think this was one of the first times I heard "this is awesome" from the crowd on a Nia Jax match. There was this one spot where she did a Samoan drop from the second rope. And to me, an AEW fan, I knew Becky Lynch wasn't going to kick out. and she didn't. And I was like, holy shit, now this is a match. You know, you had David versus Goliath. You know, Becky Lynch has been on top of the food chain in WWE for so long, and Nia Jax was just like ragdolling her. You know, she was doing those power punches. One of them accidentally caught her in the lip, and it kind of busted her open, but doesn't matter. It just made great storytelling. I liked it. And again, it could all be because of Becky Lynch, but let's also give Nia Jax her flowers. She deserved it. The great match. Hopefully this could end a potential feud right now, and they could bring it up later, because if they just keep having rematches, it will kill it for me. But Nia Jax showed what she has in the squared circle. Could she get a WWE Raw Women's Champion title shot in the future?
She's definitely in the conversation. Royal Rumble's coming up a couple weeks. I could see that she wins that, challenges Rhea. Yeah, dude. I mean, she might even challenge Rhea at Royal Rumble. But either way, I'm excited for the women's division. Dude, you know what? Another change that I did like in WWE Raw this year, I noticed that they started the show off by running down all the announced matches that they're supposed to have and promos, kind of like how AEW does, but except not promoting them like online, like the way they do. Like they ran down what you're going to see in the show. I liked that in WWE at the start of the show.
Yeah.
I liked that they were showing you during the show things you could look forward to next week.
Yep.
I like that a lot.
I think Collision does that. At the beginning of the show, they have promos from every individual that's going to be in that match. And in that opening theme, you know, they have the music, and then they have highlights of wrestlers. They have highlights of wrestlers who are going to be on that show. But one thing I did notice from both shows, WWE started with a match. This is very fucking rare for WWE to start with the match. They usually start with a never-ending promo, and AEW usually starts with the match. It was bizarre world here. AEW started with the segment, a storyline, and WWE started with a match. What is going on here? Either way, both shows started off great.
It was a change of pace. It was good. It was a change of pace, and it was great. So moving on, we get to see a promo with Shinsuke. Cody Rhodes sets up their match for next week. We get to see Imperium versus main event Jey Uso and Kofi Kingston. The match was going good. Looks like Kofi Kingston does a drop kick at the same time as Giovanni Vinci's jumping off the top rope, I believe. I don't remember exactly, but point story, Kofi Kingston kicks Giovanni Vinci in the head. He lands badly on the floor. The match is stopped by Dr. Stoppage. Do we have any updates on that, Adrian?
Giovanni Vinci posted on Twitter that he's okay, he's good. But, you know, it's great for the doctor to stop the match. I know Jey Uso got the tag, and I'm assuming Jey Uso was just going to go out there and take the pin, or pin Vinci, and then have them go to the back, similar to what JBO did to Eddie Guerrero. When it looked like Eddie Guerrero was getting a heart attack, you know, everybody was just standing around doing a bunch of nothing. JBO gets tagged in, pins Eddie Guerrero, and leaves. That way the medical staff can get in there. But either way, it's still great. The medical staff, professionals as hell. They've been doing it for so long. And yeah, it was great. And glad he's okay.
Yeah, glad he's okay. And that could have been easily a concussion or something, but looks like he's probably going to be on Monday Night Raw. So then we get an interesting Miz TV promo here. It's supposed to be the Miz with Judgment Day. We find out that Judgment Day is actually just R-Truth, since he won the loser leaves Judgment Day match against
Big Head, the Pop.
Big Head, yeah, the Big Pop. Yeah. So he ends that match, and apparently he's trying to clear the name of Judgment Day and say that they're not all bad guys. Dominic Mysterio and JD Madonna interrupt, saying that he's not in Judgment Day, but he is in Judgment Day, but he's not. And then they set up a tag team match. And then this just confuses the hell out of R-Truth. He's just like, is this like you just want me to team up with him and kind of like screw him over kind of thing? And he gives them, gives Dominic Mysterio like the dumbest winks ever. He's like, oh yeah, like strange bedfellows, wink, wink. And he was so confused about whose team he was supposed to be on. Of course, we see him in the match actually go onto the Judgment Day side to ask for a tag. But the Miz and R-Truth, Awesome Truth, end up winning. Adrian, what do you got to say about this?
That part when R-Truth went to the Judgment Day side and he gets tagged in, and then Dominic Mysterio's like, all right, cool, hit him, you're in, you're in our team, hit Miz. R-Truth is winding up his fist. Did the spot from WrestleMania 24, I believe, with Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair. I love you.
I love you. Bro, I
what did
forgot
I
about
tell
that.
you, bro? In the last episode, I literally told you this was gonna be the year where Judgment Day finally acts like goofballs. First show of the year, they're acting like fucking goofballs, and I'm all in for it because R-Truth, it's comedy gold. He's comedy gold. Let's face it.
He is. So the thing I want to say about Judgment Day, I like that Dom is the comedic, gets his ass whooped. So is JD McDonough. But then you have Rhea Ripley and Damon Priest that are more serious. You can kind of throw Finn Balor into sometimes he's serious, sometimes he's a goofball. But I like that you can get both sides of the Judgment Day. Yeah. But I like that personally. I know you call them goofballs. For them, half of them are goofballs. But the other two, Rhea Ripley's obviously the badass. And Damon Priest, sometimes he's mostly serious, but sometimes he can get thrown into that goofiness, and it just works. It's a good storyline.
Yeah, when he was like, "Get out of here, JD! You're not part of the Judgment Day. Get out of our clubhouse."
Yeah, exactly. Essentially it's entertainment. But then you have other serious tag teams as well. But they're in between. They're one of the greatest things about WWE right now, I'll say. And speaking of that, we do get Rhea Ripley here defending the title against Ivy Nile.
Who?
So I've seen her wrestle quite a bit on NXT. She's good. She's talented. She's buff. She's got a good look. But yeah, Rhea Ripley's going to just tear her down, and that's what happened.
And to be honest, when I saw this match being booked, I'm like, is Tony Khan booking Raw now? And this is the same thing I was talking about Mariah May. Usually a new woman comes in, has an amazing match. 2 weeks later, she has a world title match. And it happened here, and I came with the same attitude like I do in AEW. Give it a chance. And it was impressive. I obviously, we knew Rhea Ripley was not going to win. I would have liked to see Ivy now at least have 1 or 2 good matches.
You mean not going to lose?
Not going to lose? Yeah. But yeah, I would have liked to see Ivy now have 1 or 2 good matches before she goes up against Rhea Ripley, somebody who defeated my queen at Wrestlemania. I mean, you can't just go up against Rhea Ripley like that. You can't just skip the line, But great match. And she's with the Creed brothers, right? That's the same girl, right?
Yeah, Diamond Mind.
Ooh.
Yep, she's still with them.
You're on my radar, girl.
Yeah. Then we get the big return of a WWE champion that was announced online by Triple H. And then none other than Jinder Mahal comes out.
None other. Give my man his respect. None other than the modern day Maharaja, bro. Jinder Mahal. Continue.
Bro, I just want to say, I was more excited for Jinder Mahal coming out than The Rock. Everybody knew that The Rock was going to come out. Jinder Mahal, I'm a big fan of. He had one of the greatest heel runs as a WWE champion in history. He played the foreign heel to a T. It was amazing.
Talk to him.
Anybody that says otherwise is not a wrestling fan.
Bro, all jokes aside, kid you not, Jinder Mahal did great with the WWE Championship. He had a great feud with Randy Orton. This was at the time where pretty much they didn't really have a champion. They were going on the India tour, and Jinder Mahal was there. He had just come back, yoked as hell, and then you had the Bollywood boys by his side to do all of his bidding. Mind you, they were jobbers. I don't think they've ever had a match in WWE TV, or at least alongside Jinder Mahal, but it was great. I like Jinder Mahal. To me, yes, some people could call him a paper champion like myself, but he was a great champion, but obviously, the segment was against The Rock. And we gotta give Jinder Mahal his flowers. Jinder Mahal knew his introduction was gonna be a dud. He knew fans were gonna get disappointed online, watching at home, and watching in attendance. Jinder Mahal knew the fans were gonna be disappointed, yet he decided to go out there and have a segment with the great one, the most electrifying man in all of sports entertainment, The Rock. And not anybody, I mean, who do you think would have taken that spot? Do you think somebody like Braun Strowman would have done that? He would have gotten buried. I'm sure he wouldn't have liked that. Jinder Mahal did the job, and he did it very fucking well. But let's talk about The Rock. Go first.
I want to still talk about Jinder Mahal, bro. Shit, that motherfucker looks like he deserves to be in the main event scene in WWE unless he's injured. But that man's promo was really good. It drew heat. I mean, that's what you want as a heel. Perfect heel work, I would say. Moving on to The Rock. Did he seem presidential, like he was testing out something to be a president?
I don't know, man. He did speak a lot of truth.
This is America.
Yeah, I mean, because Jinder Mahal mainly was saying that the United States has never been divided more than ever, and I don't know if that's according to what's going on in politics and all that. But The Rock set him straight. The Rock did the job. Jinder Mahal had enough. And obviously The Rock layeth the smackdown on that jabroni. Sorry, I'm a Rock fan. I'm a Jinder fan, but I'm still a Rock fan, number one. It was great. The return, the setup, everything. But are you excited of what he said next, Brian?
That he's going to sit at the head of the table?
What do you think about that?
So, I think we're going to see him at Elimination Chamber.
Oof.
Or maybe, actually not, maybe not Elimination. Maybe Royal Rumble Challenge. He's going to be there somewhere. I don't think he's going to be at WrestleMania. I still think Cody Rhodes is going to finish the story at WrestleMania. I don't think we can wait another year for that. CM Punk is going to challenge Seth Rollins. Like, that's pretty set in stone. Are they going to push Cody Rhodes to next year's WrestleMania in Minneapolis?
Or SummerSlam?
I just feel Cody Rhodes' story needs to end at WrestleMania. Anything shorter than that would be, I want to say, a disappointment. I just would want to say that Cody Rhodes, he deserves that WrestleMania moment for himself. The story calls for it. It calls for the ending of Roman Reigns to be at WrestleMania. For his dad, just at that moment, just calls for WrestleMania. And if it's not this one, I don't think they can push it up another year. I'm going to say it's going to have to happen here. But The Rock, that just throws in another aspect to the convoluted, crazy storylines that we got going in WWE right now. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, like all names go on and on. Like, who's going to win the Royal Rumble? Who knows? Where's this all going? WrestleMania season is heating up. It's here officially.
Yup, and two spots that can guarantee you a WrestleMania main event. It's the men's Royal Rumble and the men's Elimination Chamber match. And there's three people out here coming out for Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. No, nobody's putting NXT on the map. Well, at least alongside the Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. But Elimination Chamber is going to be in Australia. It's going to be televised here on US TVs or in the West Coast or East Coast at 4:30 a.m. Is that going to be a good move by WWE to have The Rock and Roman Reigns main event, an Australian show that's going to start at 4:30 a.m.? Mind you, it's going to be what, 1:30 here in the West Coast?
People are going to watch it regardless. It's going to get eyes. It's going to get buyers to want to buy Peacock before WrestleMania. I would say yes, it's going to get eyes on the product. You're going to see people talking about it, so you're going to go want to watch it. And the only way to watch it is Peacock. You buy the month and you get WrestleMania. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. I just don't think he's going to be at WrestleMania.
Or they can have Roman work night 1 and night 2. That would be my other option.
So, see, and that's the thing. Like, have it be Roman Reigns versus The Rock night 1, and then the winner faces Cody Rhodes night 2.
Probably,
like,
yeah. I mean, they've done it in Wrestle Kingdom before, too.
I mean, technically, they did it at WrestleMania 10, right? It was Lex Luger versus Yokozuna, and the winner was going to face Bret Hart later in the night.
Didn't they do it the WrestleMania where Daniel Bryan had to win a certain match then at the main events or something? Those were the years I wasn't watching WWE, so I don't know.
WrestleMania 30. Yeah, there was something like that. He had to beat Batista and then face Triple H at the end. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened. So, I mean, it's possible, but I don't know if that's the way you'd want to do it with Cody Rhodes' story.
Have Roman lose 2 nights in a row?
Oh, you know what? Somebody said that The Rock was not going to challenge for the title. I saw online that he was going to be challenging for the head of the table.
Yeah, that's what he said, yeah.
Well, after that boss segment, we'll see what happens. We just gotta wait a couple more weeks. We get Tegan Nox and Natalya, the in-house jobber, versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Baszler and Stark win. They're building up that women's tag team division.
With Natalya?
I mean, with the other two, with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Yeah. Then we get the main event, Drew McIntyre versus Seth freaking Rollins. This is a pay-per-view quality Monday Night Raw. They had some heavy-hitting matches here. Adrian, what did you think about this?
I wouldn't call it pay-per-view matches, but the last 2 segments were great. They delivered. This match was great. I mean, Drew McIntyre has been on a horrible championship challenger run. I think this would make it like his 14th title match loss in a row. And following that record, I didn't think he was going to come out on top, but I knew the match was going to deliver. And it did. It did deliver. I was impressed. To me, I like competitive matches. Whether you win or lose, I'm still going to be a fan of yours. I saw your skill. I saw that you gave it your all, especially when it's for something like the WWE Participation World Title. I like the match. The cash-in, though. I have a feeling like Paul Levesque does not know what to do with the men's Money in the Bank briefcase anymore. I don't like that. What about you?
Dude, I like that. I think that he's trying to cash it in and they're teasing it. He's trying to, it's just something else always happens. I still think that Damian Priest is going to cash in at WrestleMania and beat Seth Rollins with the Money Bank cash in after he beats CM Punk.
Yeah, I guess I would say why I don't like it is because you have Judgment Day pretty much attack people after matches all of 2023. You had the Judgment Day, whether win or lose, mainly lose, still attack their opponents. They get involved in matches. Meanwhile, you have Damian Priest with the briefcase. And not once did they think, hey, let's just attack a world champion during a match. I mean, we do it on random ass matches. Why don't we do it against the world title? Yes, you can say, well, Finn Balor is pretty upset. Well, I mean, I don't see why he's upset. He's the one that lost 2 title opportunity matches in a row against Seth Rollins. That's a personal problem, bruv. I know Dominic Mysterio has no saying on the Damian Priest and Finn Balor beef. I'm sure he would have helped them. I'm sure Rhea would have helped him too, especially with JD Madonna now. I'm just like, if you guys have been beating people up for random reasons, or for the reasons that you guys have, I mean, there's a world champion sitting right there doing a bunch of nothing. I think at one point he had a match with JD Madonna to determine the first entrance of the War Games match. You could have done it there.
Could have done it after that Shinsuke Nakamura street fight that they had.
Done it there. But I'm only saying that I didn't like it because I think it's going towards that Austin Theory route, where Austin Theory was built like this big thing, mainly by Vince McMahon. But then at the end of the day, he just ended up being a goofball, then lost the briefcase, and then randomly got awarded a title match. But if you were to ask me who would I like to see Damian Priest cash in, I would like him to cash in against Gunther. That would be a curveball nobody will see.
Well, Austin Theory cashed in on Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title.
That's what I'm saying. Gunther's unbeatable right now, and then it would transition Gunther from the mid card to the main card.
I don't like that. I mean, I don't like that Gunther's like title end would lose because of that. I feel like that's a disrespect to Gunther at that point. You know what I mean?
I mean, if he has a match against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, right, for the IC title, Gunther wins, Priest cashes in. Or something, you know? Because to me now I feel like CM Punk just returned for nothing. Just his WrestleMania moment. I would like to see Priest cash in against Rollins. But then where does that leave Punk? Like, why did you return? Just for his WrestleMania moment? And then what is he going to do after that? You know?
Put over young talent, bro.
And tell them not to use real glass in matches.
Exactly, bro. I feel like that's the only thing that you could do with CM Punk at this point. Give him his WrestleMania moment. Fuck over AEW at the same time. I mean, at that point, I mean, you used them for what you used them for. He's just, honestly, after getting the WrestleMania moment, he's going to be happy guy, you know? I mean, what is there to complain about? I mean, he already won the world title. He just didn't win the world title at a WrestleMania, but he main evented WrestleMania.
It's true.
That's a great career, I would say. He full circle back to WWE. He can challenge Gunther. He can do anything. He can go to SmackDown. He can go to NXT. Yeah, so the world's open for him. He's the best in the world. He doesn't need to be involved in the world title picture all the time. That's one of the things I do like about AEW. They have a lot of more mid-card, non-title related storylines like Konosuke Takeshita, you know, Swerve Strickland and Adam Page, even though they're doing it too soon. But yeah, man, you guys let us know what you think in the comments. We are Triggered Wrestling. Follow us at Triggered Wrestling everywhere except on Twitter. Or X, we are TRIGG_wrestling. Let us know in the comments. Subscribe. All the good stuff.
Hit that notification button. I'm Adrian. That's Brian. Most importantly, stay triggered.